All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. This is our third game of 5E's D&D Innistrad, and we will. I have thought of a name for this. We will call it Shadows over Innistrad. I like Lovecraft, so anyway, I have aside from Mike not being here, I have the same bunch of people that have been started the first one, and we're going to continue with our little shenanigans. We will start it off with Matt. Go ahead.
Thank you. As you all know, my name is Matt, and today I'll be playing Troll Singer, otherwise known as Skewer, a rather large, well-built man who doesn't really speak very well, but he's very direct and to the point. He's a fighter, soldier, and all-round person of action, and that's what he focuses on. Yeah, that'll be me. Thank you.
Jim?
Cool. Well, I'm Jim, and I am playing the human warlock, Mr. Silver. If you were paying close attention, in the middle of Caleb's character's anxiety, he came running into the room and started shouting out, Conan. And so my name also turns out it's Conan. And yeah, I'm probably the black tongue in the group compared to Eric's. I'm the silver tongue. Literally, my name means silver tongue. And compared with Eric's probably golden tongue, since he's wine and dining kings and queens.
All right, Eric. Let her roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Eric, and I will be, as I have always be, playing the one, the only, the Pied Piper to kings and queens, the bane of all evil, the destroyer of darkness, the people's defender, better known as Ark. Thank you. The Bard, by the way.
I think that leaves me. Hi, I'm Caleb. I am the guy who comes in and apparently ruins every other character's backstory. I'm sorry. So I play a guy named Enoch Malloy. He and Mr. Silver do have a little bit of a history. Enoch, I'm going to describe it the same way at the start of every session so that everyone knows. He's got this leather jacket that has fur kind of bursting out from underneath it, sort of like a fur-lined bomber jacket, under which he wears no shirt. His pants are tucked into knee-high strapped leather boots. He is actually from Keswick, not this specific location, but he is from the area. He's very excited, and he's a little brash. He's rough around the edges at some points when interacting with people, and he definitely has an abrasive personality.
All right. Well, now that we got, and Mike will show up soon. All right. So we will pick back up. Yeah, a week later. During this week, after you defeated the witch who she was trying to summon something, Enoch had a very peculiar encounter with the Horn King, announcing that he's seen him now. and he will be. Y'all have seemed to pique his curiosity. After the encounter, y'all did some investigation into the lady's house, and y'all found that she had a little chest that she had tucked away, and there was some money in it, and a orb that Mr. Silver took to Ulok to get identified that he couldn't do it. It was more, since he's more of a scholarly fella, but he was able to tell y'all that with the 2 orbs that she had floating around her, they were soul orbs. She had captured the souls of the people that she had killed and was using them as a barrier that she linked to herself to protect her life while y'all were fighting. And y'all, during the confrontation, y'all actually burnt one of the souls. So there's one less body that can be resurrected when they're sent, if the families decide to pursue that route, which they don't seem to be. But Nicole Burbane has taken a dislike to y'all and has just quit. He has shut down. There's no one left that can go to. No one's allowed in his house anymore. So y'all have had a week of downtime. So what about how do y'all spend this week? Enoch, how did you spend this week?
So Enoch, probably sort of trying to find just a little scratch right away. Might have offered to help carry loads, say from, maybe any little odd job of just, manual labor, picking things up, moving it from here to there. If anybody is finishing a wall or an add-on or things like that, just some manual labor to pick up just enough scratch to kind of get by from here until probably about a week when he decides to do it again. 2 or 3 days in, he feels comfortable with what he has accomplished, at which point he finds the side of a sort of a stone. We can say it's even maybe something in, if there is no business district, it is just the side of maybe the tavern. And he has taken it upon himself to, he is painting a great mural on the side of it. He's got brushes out and he's sort of lining this thing. And he's doing it kind of under the cover of night. He doesn't know whether he would be allowed to or not allowed to, but he starts this painting and he gets this big outline. And essentially all it is it is sort of this woods landscape scene. And he's painting up the trees and sort of the sunset. And he doesn't actually finish by the time we pick up, but he's got sort of the entire thing outlined and the left side rendered to his liking. But yeah, so just kind of doing some stuff during the day and then at night kind of sneaking into the little alleyway between these buildings and painting this grand mural.
Arcadian, how would you spend your week of downtime?
Well, Arcady will spend this week of downtime the only way the entertainer of kings and queens could spend his time. He spends his time in the tavern, not getting drunk, not doing anything, but entertaining folks, trying to earn him some damn money. That's what he does all week. Like it seems like the town seems to almost be normal, or he's just not paying attention. So, kind of after about a couple of days, he kind of gets bored of just coming, performing, all that good stuff. He's actually, after a while, he's actively looking for, see if anything is different. Like, maybe he stops a mugger or whatever, maybe something like that, just something to be that would give him something to do. Other than that, that's pretty much all he's going to do. Spend my time in the tavern and realize how boring it is not to get moving.
Silver?
All right. So after finding that initial orb, I actually kind of played with it a little bit. Literally, I paid a child a couple of silver to let me try to cast Enthrall on him to see if it made any difference as I'm trying to focus into this orb that actually was just full of the spirits. And the kid did exactly what I said, and it felt like it took no less effort. And then I literally went up, sent him back into the town, stayed outside in the woods, and would try to light trees on fire and see if it was coming any stronger, and it wasn't. So I just doused it and tossed it on to pass it along. Then walked, probably walked in as Ark is over there starting to strum up and get the music going. I talk to the bartender and work up to make some money actually tending bar. So I'll spend the week trying to make sure I can pay for my guild dues and make some money, and maybe see if, while the alcohol is flowing and the music is keeping moods up, maybe finding some information.
Skewer?
Right. Well, during his week, Skewer would be very active. He would wake up at dawn every morning. He would have approached the marshal and gotten a place on the local militia, and he would be patrolling the walls. He would go out on hunts. He would come home after a long day of work, either of those two things, and he would help little old ladies with cutting wood and things like that at the end of the day. So he'd work like a Trojan horse. He'd really put his 9 yards in.
All right. So if you performed you a job, roll me a D10. If it's your profession, roll profession. If it's not, just roll me a D10 because Jim, you don't have to. We already took care of yours during the other thing.
Oh,
I got a 25.
On a D10? Awesome.
No, well, he said roll profession, right?
Yeah. You're a bard.
Do I roll perform? Did you want me to roll profession or perform?
Perform?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So should I roll? If you have profession painting, yes. If it's a profession, yes. And I have to look. Okay, yeah. All right. And since that just okay. All right. Okay. All right. So during the week that y'all have, and y'all are um carrying out y'all's tasks that y'all. Alrighty. Well, you're successful at it. Everybody passed their chosen profession. During the week that y'all had the downtime, and as the night runs down, um, Arcady, you start to have bad dreams. Tell us what these bad dreams are.
His bad dreams, huh? All right. So in his dreams, he is uh, standing out in a field, uh, wearing uh, normal clothes, um, and he's behind a plow horse, and he, for as much as he sits and he wants to leave, but he feels like he cannot leave this plow in the field. The only thing in his mind he could think is, I got to get the got to get crop done before harvest. He goes on and plows the field, and the whole time he's miserable, hates it. And there's a little, I guess, a little cottage setting, out in the middle of the field on nowhere. And there's a woman standing on the porch waving him in. She's happy and all, and everything. And he walks to the cottage, but as he's walking, he's just miserable. And his dream skips, and every time it skips, it's work, being, the happy husband and the two kids, doing farm life and all that bull mess. Just, he never gets to go to town. It's just, he wakes up finding his loot stored away, his loot stored away and locked inside of a chest upstairs. That's his horrible dream.
Okay. And over this week, it starts to it gets worse and worse and worse. And every day you wake up in a pool of sweat, and you're just tired. And who's ever in the bar in the last day of that sees him come down, and he looks really haggard, like essence has been taken from him. He's kind of gaunt, pale, even though he's been eating and drinking. It hadn't been sick. He's starting to look a little gaunt. And Arcade, even you slept all that night, but you still wake up and you're just tired. So, what are y'all doing? Where are y'all at?
Trying to put myself in a drunken coma.
I can help you with that. In fact, if you like, I can, depending on how stout you're feeling, I might be able to put you to sleep.
I think Enoch is probably sitting on the other side of the bar when he sees Ark come down, and he's feeling all visually. He looks like he's been going through things. I think he would sort of wordlessly go over to whichever table Ark is sitting at and just kind of sit on the other side of the table. And, you know, he's not talking to him, anything like that. He is just kind of sitting there as company more than anything else.
Skewer would come in from a morning duty, and there'd be a couple of replacements for him waiting in the bar for word that it's their time to switch patrol. And Skewer would come in, look their direction, and he would wipe his soiled shoes on the entryway rug, and sort of gesture for them to start, and sits himself down, wipes his brow, orders a drink, and looks at the time.
Okay. There's a drink given to you. What the hell? Okay. So one of the barmaids bring you a drink, and so, oh, doggone it. There has been a few, it's got around town that Silas and his other companion has came up missing. Shortly after the fight with Mira, they actually came up missing, and the town guard are sending out patrols to try to find them. And the day, everything, the people don't seem too rattled by it. It seems like they've come to terms with their mortality, and they're not defeated, but they're going about trying to find and taking care of the stuff that had happened. The Inquisitor that the Brabanes had sent for has came in, and he's been busy trying to piece together exactly what Mira was up to. He has him and his 2 or 3 little aides. Y'all have seen him every once in a while. He questioned y'all for a little bit, but he doesn't seem too interested in y'all. He just keeps going about his business. But he did give you 10 gold for those 2 soul orbs. He gave you 10 gold apiece for the soul orbs for doing the good, for helping him out while he was still trying to get here. This goes on for a couple of days, and they actually have, and you see the captain is nailing a piece of paper into the on front of one of the doors. No, everybody got 10 apiece. And you see he's got this big this hammer, and he's just nailing up this board, this piece of paper. And he sees y'all, and he takes a piece of the paper. He's like, well, since y'all seem to like to help around here, he lays the piece of paper down on there. He's like, do you feel like taking on a job to go into the Estwald?
What's the pay?
Well, the Marcreath family has put up a very handsome bounty of 100 gold to whoever can go down in there and clear out the can actually go in and clear out the Estwald.
The entire thing.
Oh no, that would need at least an army from each town. No, we only are worried about our own little junction. We've had some people, some of the merchants have been trying to go in there, and the creatures have gotten a little too much. And I've sent the patrol in there and lost half of them. So since y'all have had better luck with it than most folks, I figured I would pass this along to y'all. We did pay oh, darn it, I gotta get the notes. Hold on. Let me get his name back out. We did actually pay Marku Crowdaughter to go in there, but we know how that happened, how that turned out for him. So he got half of it. The Marcreath family will put the 50 that the Crow Daughter that Marku got and has set the bounty at, so it's 150 if you have a little extra time.
Well, and looking over at Skewer, do you need to rest or are you good to go? And looking over at Ark, I pat him on the back. I go, you don't look so good, but not trying to be any way friend, but your playing's not as good as it was when you started a couple days ago. Maybe you need a break. We can come back here and do this anytime.
He sets the bottle down. He goes, maybe. And I look at him. I says, I'll go. I mean, gives me something else to do.
Skewer smiles or cracks you a smile and looks at you over the counter. Says, "I was born ready."
Oh, good, because I was born quite lazy. As my bag gets picked up off the floor and it looks like it is put over the shoulder of something just floating in the air. And I look up at it. And to me, what I'm seeing is this cursed issue. Up until recently, my unseen servants that I've been able to summon with time have literally just been outlines of people that as further as I go through life and further as they travel with me, the more they begin to take on shape. And the shape of this servant actually has turned out to be the one soul that we were not able to restore to its body. And it's a little strange, but it's hanging out with us now. Cool. And I'm just kind of like thumbs up at it and it thumbs up at me, and y'all are seeing this one-sided conversation.
Yeah, I think Enoch kind of leans forward in his chair and stands up and gives a big kind of stretch open wide. And he says, we in some kind of hurry then. Then let's go.
Well, yeah. Well, the merchants would be extremely appreciative of the expediency of the job, but I'm not going to put no urgency on it. So
do we need to get in there?
We just have to. There's only a gate, but after we open it, it'll be shut behind you.
Are we going to have to spend the night in the stocks again if we come back?
That depends. Do you plan on getting attacked by werewolves or attracting werewolves?
Attracting werewolves. I think by being food for them. We are a buffet sitting here right now, are we not? No, we don't intend to attract werewolves. But if the merchants would be appreciative, maybe we can cut a deal with them as well for more pay or deals. I do like having to part with less of my money at a time, actually.
Oh, well, that's between you and the merchants. I can only give you what I was handed.
Well, hand it, and Mr. Boyne Ready, I'm sure, will lead us on our way.
Oh, he hands you the piece of paper. We kind of, once it's done, you'll get your money. He gives you another. He gives hope. He places another slip down. He says, "Show this to the wardens, and they'll let you in." But like I said, it will be open for only so long, and then it'll be shut.
Art, sitting there almost nodding off while sitting there standing up. He goes, how are we supposed to bring you proof that said task is complete?
Well, I see it. Either you'll come back or you won't come back.
I thought Art being deprived to sleep. He goes, and he places his hand on his shoulder and he goes, "My dear sir, how are we to give you proof that our task is complete?" I said, "How do you know we just didn't go outside the gate, spend a few days outside the gates, and just come back and say it's done?"
Well, since we don't know what the actual creatures are that are in there, bring me back an ear or a finger or something. He's like, we do not know what's in there, so we can't even tell you exactly what we're going to be doing. So bring me back a souvenir.
I says, and I take it just anything won't do, right? You know, like a rock, a branch, or
He's like,
some of that.
he's like, just whatever is from the creature or creatures.
Art goes, all right, fine. I have a feeling we're going to fight a thorn fairy fury creature into the Ormwald. I gotta go look for a stick.
Down with the dirt monsters. Let's go.
So
With y'all talking like this, my eyes are wide, and I'm like, they know.
when the captain is like, well, he's like, he's like, and there could also be other horrors down there. He's like, so I would be careful. And he just gets up. He's like, I'll lead you through. You want me to walk with you, or do you want me to point you in the direction to go? He said,
Point away unless you're going to give us anything else.
no, he's like, no, I got other things to do. He's just right as you come. He's like, once you pass the suite, it's not. You'll find a dip. You'll start seeing what looks like a dip. He's like, just head that way, and you'll run into the wardens. Present them with that paper, and they'll open the access gate for you to get in. He's like, luck be with you.
And also with you. So, is everyone ready? I mean, do you need some time? Does anyone need to buy anything? No? Good. Let's go make some money.
I do think I need one thing. And he kind of stands up and he heads over to the stairs and goes up towards his room and passes the door and goes one room over and opens the door and yells in, Sven, we're getting out of here.
So, making y'all's way across the town, you pass the illustrious stock, their suite that they love to stick feet folks in, and you find the dip. And as you go, when you start to descend, it's a steady grade, so wagons do not have a hard time going down or coming up. You see this double fenced. It's like two metal gates has been placed together to hold, and it goes about 10 feet up. Yeah, there is like there is a parts where there's like these two big heavy chains that looks like it lifts the whole thing. But as you get down closer to the bottom, there's a couple of smaller doors that look like they have been cut out of this gate. And standing on either side is this man that is in heavier armor with a pike and a crossbow. When you're getting closer to it, you can actually see that some parts of the gate have been bent in, like it has been hit by something. You can see scratches, and sometimes you see it's pushed out, and then you see parts of it where it's been pulled in. And when one of the wardens see you, they says you can't be down here. You have to turn back and go. We can't be responsible for you to be down here.
We have a paper. We're doing the thing for the merchants.
While he's pulling it out, I'll pull it out for him to show him, hand it to him.
He takes it. He just glances a minute, and he looks at the other one. He says, "Pull the lever," and you can see that they pull one of the levers, and you can hear like the door protest is being opened, but it does click, and he's able to pull it open. He's like, well, welcome to the S wall, the Erd wall.
Oh, it's lovely. Yes. As I say, walking in, my backpack being carried about 2 feet behind me.
Yeah. Once all of y'all get in, they don't even wait or whatever. You can hear the door snap shut behind you. And the warden says, if you make it, come back to this. He's like, do not hit the main junction. If you go out into the main junction, you're a lot further than we'll come in after you.
It won't be if, it will be when.
Yeah,
He's a pretty confident man.
And Ark is so tired. He goes, "Yeah, what he said." He just following the path given.
So there's torches on either side, and there's a torch that's maybe every 10 feet up until a point. The Erd wall is a natural canyon. You can see that they still kept some of the natural rock, but the floors have all been worked to be a road. And they seem to get a lot of traffic with the merchants who do not want to go over land to have to fight all the monsters that are out there. When you come, you can see, you go to the end and you can see that they have signs like a road direction. They have you can see one of the signs that says if you go to this way, you'll go to Gatstaff. There's a sign that says Lumberholt and Gavany, and there's one that is with the same thing with Gatstaff. It says Gatstaff, Nymphala, and then there's another one that says that has where when you after you come, you follow this until the junction of Gavany, and you take the Stencia trail if you're going that way. But the area that they're concerned with is their little junction, which a town's junction could be anywhere from a mile to 2 miles. With this being a smaller town, Averbrook's. Well, at the time, Averbrook's was at least about a 3-mile junction. But when it got destroyed, most of it was boarded up. So you have a very limited area for you can still presumably get lost here, but you pretty much have a clear area for you to travel. Where's the cars? There. Okay. Skewer and Arcadian. Y'all see the footprints of the traffic, foot traffic going in here, and y'all, I guess you follow it until you come to this. It looks like a sewer grate, or I guess the best I can, that it looks like it had been a circular tunnel dug into the wall. You can see water is starting to drains from it. And you can hear the sound of water very faintly, but it seems off in the distance a little bit. So, what do y'all do?
All right. So we're hearing water. I guess Skewer would look to the rest and he would sort of go, well, I hear something. Yeah, sounds like might be water. Want to go see what it be? I don't really see any other choice. There's meant to be creatures down here or something. We ain't seen nothing yet.
Does the footprints come this way, bro?
It seems like they do.
How old are they?
Can we not tell? I would need a survival check for that.
Oh, okay. Well, no, okay, never mind.
I would love to make a survival check.
Okay.
Yeah, because tracking is also one of my things. So go ahead, and I'll roll this.
Yeah, the tunnel you have to kind of bend down for, but it doesn't impede movement. You can see, like, a little further down, you can actually see some of the tunnel has been boarded up, and it looked like they started with brick and mortar, and then it just very slowly went to wood. Because it got a little tired. It seemed they either ran out of money or it needed to be up quick.
Right. Skewer got 18 on his survival check.
They're about 3 or 4 days old. As compared to some of the other marks that you are seeing, these are fresher tracks.
And did they look humanoid? Do they look some kind of animal?
No, they look human.
Right. So Skewer sort of pikes up and he says, well, as far as I can tell, they're about 3, maybe 4 days old. Look like humans. Smell like humans.
So we've found the tracks of the last people who came in here.
Seems that way.
Except for us.
Well, you are correct. So then do we follow these tracks? I mean, we're here for them, right? Or do we want to find things to clear out?
I mean, Skewer would definitely be interested in
by we, I mean.
So Skewer sort of says, well, yeah, we're meant to clear it out, but if there's still people down here, rather save them and then clear it out. Maybe they'll be captured, maybe they're in trouble, maybe they're dead, I don't know. Best be prepared, though, and I'll, ready my pike, and I'll say, off we go then, I guess.
Didn't the captain? I could have swore I overheard people talking about people coming up missing in town here lately, like within a few days, I suppose. Yeah. Don't remember how long it's been. I've lost track of time.
It was actually, I heard at the bar that it was a couple of days after our recent success.
Well, I says then I says I guess we could if there's people alive, I says there's money to be given to rewards to heroes that save those in danger.
Yes, yes, you're coming around just fine, friend.
He looks at you very tired, and he goes, I just want to get it over with.
Me too. Me too.
Well,
And Skewer, lead on.
All
And I'm
right.
doing the normal thing of making sure that the beefiest people are always between me and where I think danger is.
well,
My character sheet may say warlock, but I'm playing like a wizard.
well, like I said, you have to kind of hunker down unless you're like really short. But yeah, you make your way through the other side, and this area is more rough rock. You can see that this was a kind of a junction station where people would come in and go, and if they needed to rest and they didn't want to go in town, these usually were stopped. And there are about 3 or 4 buildings down here. They're not very big. One of them is large enough that you could put some horses in, but the other one is kind of collapsed from, it looks like with the way the water has pulled, it looked like it may have flooded. There's another building that seems that it fared this flood a little better than the rest of them, and you can hear the water dripping, and you can hear the faint sound of what sounds like thunder off in the distance.
Okay. Thunder.
Yes. And as you get further in and you come away from the torch, it starts to get darker to you. But you can still hear the water. And ever so often you'll hear like this large, almost like crash of thunder that echoes through this whole area.
Well, Skewer is a bit confused. He'll speak up as he's walking and be like, we're down below, right? Like, and but there's thunder like it be in the sky, but we're underground. Don't quite know what to think about that.
We might be coming up on a sinkhole or something like that. Some that expanses up into the natural.
Right. At which point, Skewer will just keep on going towards this sound, towards where these footprints are leading.
Well, you can actually, as you get further away from the torch, you start losing, sight of the footprints. The last the last that you saw, they were heading for one of these buildings.
Okay.
And Ark just standing there like almost falling asleep, standing up. He almost has a brief dream, and he goes, "No." And he goes, "No, Illuminus." Just pops in his head.
Well, when you say the word illuminous, you can. Who has that orb that couldn't be identified?
I don't remember who took
The
it.
spirit orb?
No, y'all. No, there was the two. There was the two soul orbs, and then there was the other orb that y'all found in the treasure chest.
Oh, that's the one I was playing with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it wasn't me because I passed that along.
Okay, so, well, whoever.
I'll take it.
Okay. So, once you speak the words, wherever the orb is, you can start to see a bright light come from it. And like wherever you have it set, if it's in your backpack or in a pouch, you start seeing light come out from under it, come out of it, start peeking out.
He kind of like looks over his shoulder and he looks at his backpack and he goes, "I'm not putting my backpack." He sets his backpack down, he opens it up, and he sees the orb, and he goes, and he picks it up, and he goes, "So you're a luminous." He holds it in one hand, and he goes, "All right." It's like he's talking to the orb. He's like, "All right."
So you're holding it, and when you let it go, it kind of drifts up, but stays close to you, but it's giving off this light around y'all. It illuminates this.
I have a question. Can I set it in front of me, or or kind of move it in front of Skewer? Skewer. It's not his name, is it? I think I'm Skewer. In front of Mask, I can't remember his name. I want to say Skewer, but I think I'm thinking of Skyrim. But like, and make it to where, because if it's, can it be moved like physically, like walking, like, your body bumping into it, moving it forward? Can it be done that way?
When you spoke the word, it started floating for you. So
okay.
That if whoever says the command word for it, it's going to attach to them. And you can, if it's next to you, you can set it on the ground and speak the command word, and it'll float up a little bit next to about knee high and follow alongside you.
If you want,
all right,
my friend can carry that.
He looks down at the orb and he goes, I'll let it. Well, I ain't doing nothing.
Well, I just mean if we wanted it to lead the way, it could.
I look at him. I go, "Do you want it?" I could tell you the word to activate it.
Oh, I don't care at all. But if you want my friend to carry it, you can.
Well, no, that's who I asked. Do you want it? Like looking right at him. Skewer.
Oh,
he's talking about his unseen servant.
Oh,
right.
I don't. When he says friend, I'm obviously thinking the person that's walking in front of everybody.
That's great because you're like, who are you talking to? And I'm just still gesturing over in this area, and Skewer's still in that area too.
I kind of look at Skewer and I go, "Do you want it?"
Oh,
it'll follow you. It's a lot.
I suppose I could. Yeah, maybe that will make things attack me rather than all you lot.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Art kind of looks at him and goes, "Well, I mean, it's more to help you see than as a, you know what? That's a grand idea. Help things. Yes. Here you go." And like when he goes, he deactivates it, and I hand it to him. I says, "Only thing you have to do is say luminous, and it'll come on." And I says, now, there's another word to it. I says that where it gets really bright. I says, but I think I believe it's a one-time activation until it has to recharge itself. I says, we'll worry about that later. We'll get light. We'll worry about Illuminous before we worry about the other part.
So Skewer is having a little bit of trouble. He says, "Luminous."
No. he looks at it and Art goes, he goes, luminous.
Luminous.
Art goes, luminous. Maybe I'll say the word, he'll catch on to it enough times. Luminous.
Luminous.
So y'all are sitting here talking, and every time the word is said, the light comes on, and then it goes off, and then he says, and then Skewer says luminous, and it comes on and floats, and then goes back.
Well, I'm not saying luminous because Skewer's having a lot of trouble. He's saying luminous as in W.
Oh, so
I look at, I go, no. I says, drop the W and add an L, as in LU, not WU.
He'll eventually get it right, but it's probably confounding to the rest of the party as he's trying to get his mouth around it.
Yeah, every time, no, I just see it like he goes luminous, and then the light comes on, you go luminous, and it goes like, and I go no luminous, and it just flicks back off. It's like we're just like a beacon flickering it on and off. You know, some people in the tunnels going, "What the hell's going on there?"
Yeah, it takes a minute or two, but he'll get it.
Yeah, well, as you're saying, it stutters. It starts to float. Like I said, it floats in your hand, or if you set it, it comes up to about knee level and stays with you.
Right.
And will follow behind you, or will follow beside you as long as you need it to.
Right.
Y'all get closer to to some of the buildings, and Skewer, Arcadia, and Enoch, y'all start hearing sounds like somebody is walking on stilts.
Okay. Yep. Is it like wet down here, or like?
Yeah. There are parts where there are puddles, but it's still like a lot of the area is solid ground, and ever so often you'll hear like it steps down into the water, and then it comes, and then you can hear a couple of them, and they seem like they had saw y'all trying to. They seem to come to y'all, and they're starting to, and you can hear them as they're getting closer to y'all, but they're not running. It's very cautious.
Okay. So in that case, not really knowing any better, and and knowing that there might be people down here that need rescuing, and if there are enemies, Skewer's more than ready. He will just call out, and he will say, "The light you see is from us. We're from the town." And like call out and say, "Friend or foe?"
When you get use, you can hear it get faster, and when it gets into the light, you see this thing that looks like it's made of old clothes and a burlap sack, and it's got like hay matter in it, and its hands ends in these two wicked claws. Enoch has seen this before. Enoch has seen this before.
Okay.
And when it sees you, it makes a rasping like sound and charges at y'all.
Am I aware of any of this since they started shouting at it?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as it came into view, you can see it. It's not a person. It's more creature than an actual person. If it wouldn't have came into the light, it would have been harder for you to see.
Okay.
Just its outline, but it didn't waste any time.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Skewer would ready himself. So, watch out! Here it comes, and point his pike at it.
Okay, where did? Oh, come on. There it is. Okay, I knew. When it comes into view, I need everybody to give me a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving.
Ah, dang it. Oh no. Okay.
Okay, so if you Enoch, you feel this sensation that you had felt when you were outside looking around creak into your mind again. What frightens you? What frightens you now?
I think Enoch is probably towards the back, and I think the sound of these stilts as it becomes clearer as to what it is, sort of in a moment, he sees this, almost never. I guess I should say he didn't recognize it for what it was originally. He immediately sees the shape of this sort of lumbering werewolf in the cave itself, and every time that it kind of makes the step, that clicking of stilts, it kind of coincides with these toenail claw things sort of clacking on the ground itself. But that's sort of what he sees.
Mr. Silver, what frightens you?
Being alone.
So everybody, so I guess you're there.
I get so focused on this creature that even though there's people around me, for this moment I forget it.
Okay, and we will roll for initiative. We will not be including Svid in it. Just so I need everybody's initiative. Alrighty. So, after you meet the baleful gaze of this creature, he starts to charge for Skewer because he called out, and he raises both of his hands like he's running like a maniac. And when he gets about to you, he kind of throws himself into this kind of like a whirlwind, where and lashes out with his claws.
Okay.
So I'm 9 and a 4. I don't believe hits.
No, not in this case.
Okay. Arcadian, you see this thing, like I say, he run and he's lashing out at Skewer, but Skewer throws his pike in between it, and his hands hit up against this big stick weapon he carries. What are you doing?
Well, still somewhat tired. He doesn't feel flashy. He doesn't feel fancy, and he just takes both of the scimitars he has, and he actually just kind of tries to stab, try to stab down on the creature, hoping to pin the bastard in the ground. And during his little jump at the skewer, yeah.
Okay.
2020 is literally my attack.
Well, you hit.
Short sword, go. Damn it. I can just get a D6. There we go. Wow. That is 18 points of damage.
Okay. So you lash out with a fury of sword strikes on it, and you can see that you're hitting into the creature, and you're cutting up of all of its fabric and hacking into its entwined innards of like its straw and fiber and whatever else was shoved into it. Mr. Silver,
Yes.
It is your turn, and you are frightened.
So what does that mean for the purposes of this combat?
You spend your turn running. You can't. But you can't. You can't go near it. But you can still. You can't make no movement towards it. But any attacks you do against it has disadvantage.
Okay. Then I will drop a control flames on it. Or excuse me, create bonfire.
Okay.
The DC 14 wisdom.
Wisdom. I don't think it has it. Okay. It rolled a nat 1.
Yay! Then it will take. Shoot, I am looking at the wrong damage. Oh, it's that awesome D8. 5 fire damage.
Alrighty.
And yep. 5 fire.
Okay. Is that everything from you?
I will move away from it. I'll move that full 30 away.
Okay. So, Skewer, the thing has tried to lash out at you. You deflected its blows. You see, Arcadia, even in his slightly sleepless stupor, has hit it twice, and Mr. Silver has dropped fire on it.
Right.
It is your turn.
So, Skewer grabs the butt of his pike and just sort of slams it into the ground. Now, I know that we're underground. Is the ground beneath us just like packed dirt, or is it like stone or anything else? What?
I guess it would be a mixture.
Yeah.
You see that it's you see there's dirt and there's stone and there's mud. There's a mixture of all of the underground here.
Right. As the butt of the pike slams into the mud, this vine sort of covered in mud just sort of spirals out of the mud, curling around the spear and creating a secondary spike as Skewer attempts to hit this creature with his spear, with his pike. So that is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And I've got pierced wounds. So, I didn't roll very well. So it's a total of 8 damage, including piercing thorns, because I rolled very low.
How do you want to do it?
So the secondary thorn. So what happens is the pike comes into the creature, and the secondary thorn sort of just rears back and sort of skewers into its head. And Skewer looks at the others and he says, "It will be when, not if."
So yeah, you see once Skewer finishes it, it kind of falls apart, kind of almost like it unravels. All the sticks and hay and twine that was actually holding it together seems to just break apart and fall down.
Okay.
So now that this thing's dead and getting a better look at it, what was it?
If you have Arcana,
No. I'm not trying to decipher like what kind of creature. I'm like looking at it, like getting a better look at it. Because didn't you say it was covered in a burlap sack or burlap clothes? Like you said, it comes unraveled. I mean,
it looks like a scarecrow that you would set up in your field to scare birds off. Enoch has seen something like this before.
Mm-hmm. Being that the source of Enoch's fear is gone, and I'm guessing that with it passing away and instead of seeing like this werewolf corpse, which I'm assuming he would have sort of thought that it would be, and instead seeing just this pile of hay. What's going through Enoch's head at this point? Because, I mean, this isn't the first time that he's seen something and either he's gotten away from it in his mind or whatever. So I'm just wondering what's going on there for him.
Yeah, I think for Enoch, as Mr. Silver was kind of moving past him. I think what he saw was he was looking ahead and he saw this werewolf, and then everything kind of make a move forward to, set it on fire or take a couple of hits at it or whatever. He sees all this going on, and then he turns and watches Mr. Silver run by him. And when he turns back around, as this image in his head starts to fade, what he sees is the werewolf actually turn and disappear sort of into the darkness. And the remnants of the scarecrow just kind of, to him, there was never a scarecrow there. Mm-hmm. And even still looking at whatever it was, if anything, it was only a true scarecrow. It wasn't some terrorizing creature or anything like that. He thinks that the werewolf ran further into the cave.
Okay.
Okay. With it being destroyed, you can hear a very faint clicking, like something's banging against the floor.
Mm.
And it seems to be rhythmic. It starts off really fast, and then you hear then it shortens, then it speeds up again, and then it shortens, and it just keeps doing that over and over and over again.
So Skewer's getting a little bit fed up with this place. Like he's hearing thunder, and then there's this creature of straw and stuff that's just not even, just doesn't seem, it doesn't seem to be anything normal. And then there's this clicking, and so he's starting to huff and growl as he's walking around this place, and he's sounding less and less happy.
Well, you just, like I said, as you're moving around the buildings, you see that the building that had been that has almost been caved in, you find that there's a big sinkhole there. And you can see weapons that had been strewn over. There's there's a sword, a bow, and it looks like it has been chunked, or like somebody was thrown. And at the bottom of it, you can still hear that clicking. But when you get closer, you hear somebody is clanging a piece of metal on whatever they can hit that's going to make sound.
So we can see the bottom of this sinkhole?
When the light comes there, you can see that it seems like the bottom of this house just fell under. It's maybe about 5 to 6 feet deep. And there you can see rubble strewn out all over, and you can see the noise is one of the guards is starting to hit. But his hand is about the only thing you can see, because the roof has collapsed down on top of them, and it's broken up.
You said there are weapons thrown out all everywhere. Is there a lot of weapons thrown out, or just a little bit?
No, it's like it's not like a great number of them. It seems like there may be about 4 or 5 of them.
Are they intact? Or are they broke?
Some of them are intact, others are broke, and you can see like arrows has been strolled out across the area as well.
What are some of the ones that are intact?
They're bows. They're long bows.
Is there any swords that seem like they're intact?
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 of them.
Long sword or short? Well, I mean, what kind of sword?
Long sword. One's long. The other one is kind of like a short sword, but it's shorter than normal. It's got like it's got a wider blade, and you can and the clanging gets more frantic when he starts hearing people moving around.
Arcady holds his hand out like that, and like a blue thing surrounds his hand, and it's like a copy. It's almost like his hand copies itself. And when he gets down to the hilt of the longsword, he grabs a hold of it, and he just, kind of like, as though he's pulling the sword out himself, and it brings it to him. Mage hand, of course.
Enoch is going to go start digging this guard out of the rubble.
Yeah, well, the sword gets brought to you. Enoch, when you get down there, you see that part of one of the parts of the roof has pinned this man in there, and you can see that he seems like he has been trying to work. He has done a lot work to work himself out to the point to where he can make the sound. He's got you. You can't really see him. You can see like a little bit of him, but he's got like old blood that's been caked into his hair and his beard. There's a creature out there. Be careful. There's a creature.
I start summoning unseen servants. Like, there is no limit to this. It's just that every minute I can get another one, and they last for an hour. So I'm getting us an army to help move stuff off this guy.
Do tell the guy, he says, well, we killed something a while ago. Don't know if that was the creature. Was the creature you talked about look like it was made out of dirt, out of vegetation?
No. Dead. Undead. It came and we ran a lot of us ran for our lives. We separated out. I don't know where the other ones went. Some of us seek safety in this, and the house collapsed.
What happened to the others?
I don't know. I guess the creature may have ran after them.
Are you hurt? Says, let me ask, let me, and he kind of like he's trying to, be more thoughtful. I says, are you able to walk?
He said, no, my legs are broke. One of the beams hit me.
Clyde, I don't know if I can do this, but could I use mending to mend his leg?
I don't think mending. I'll have to say no, because I don't think mending works like that on bones.
Well, I mean, you can mend wood, so I mean, I just figured. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. Because I kind of don't want to use a healing spell on this guy. Because I'm taking it, I don't get to sleep very much. So My spell slots are like drugs right now. I gotta be very, very stingy with myself. I asked him, how hurt are you? I says, well, you're other than your leg broken.
I don't really know. I just know my legs are broke. I got myself out, and then the undead thing attacked some of the guards, some of my comrades, and I was stuck up under here. It couldn't get to me, but you can see where he's got some defensive wounds where he was actually trying to defend himself while the thing tried to to get at him under this house.
I says, can you shoot a bow, old timer?
If I just have to, I guess.
I says, you might just have to.
And
with what? Go ahead.
No, and I was like, and Mr. Silver's unseen servants are starting to pull pieces of the wood pieces off to the point where, with everybody, helping, you can pick the house up and get him out. And yeah, his legs are messed up. I don't.
Art, when everyone's helping lift and all that stuff, Art uses his mage hand and grabs the bows and the arrows that that are out of reach, and he brings it down. And I take the bow and the arrows and I hand them to him. I says, "This is for your protection. We're going to lean you against the wall here and give you." I says, "Because we're going to go." And with that, he looks around. Is there any other way they could have ran off down the tunnel or whatnot to kind of get this story in check?
This is a pretty large area. There could have been places that they could have ran. But you do find a lot of the. You do find about 3 of the bodies of the guards that had been trapped under the house too, but wasn't as lucky to get covered. And you see that this scarecrow creature raped them to death. Their bodies are tore up with and just covered in these jagged scars, these old wounds.
Do they have any like melee weapons on them, like a Helima dagger?
Whatever weapon that they had with them, seemed like it may have gotten is probably with that old man now. They have some weapons with them, but you can see they're broke.
Okay. I was gonna arm him up in case I mean, he might be leaned against the wall, but at least he can fight. Sitting on your butt don't mean you can't swing a sword. You know what I mean? Ark is sitting there. Ark, for some reason, the vision of this woman that was standing on his porch says, "You know better." And he looks at the man and he goes, and he kneels down and I cast Cure Wounds on him, 1st level spell slot.
Okay, so any of his wounds, you see them start to knit together and scab over, but they're still there.
Well, I mean, of course, I said his legs, so his legs will heal properly, and he won't be running like a weird person with his legs not healing proper.
He says, "This area." If they are still alive, they would have they would have made their way. If it would have been possible, they would have made their way back. There was 6 of us, me and 3 of them fell down there. The other two ran deeper into the Erd wall.
These guards that were crushed by this house. What city do they go? What city do they hail from?
We all from Averbrook.
Just asking because I mean, you never know.
He's like, could we get out of here? If they are still there and they ran past into the junctions, there's stuff out there. There's much worse out there. And if that creature, if that monster got a hold of them, they're beyond saving now.
So you want us to abandon the possibility of other people needing help because you're scared?
He says, you didn't see what I saw.
You wait. Sorry, go ahead.
Ark, if this guy wants to stay here, let's go ahead. I'm sure there's other people in here that would appreciate our saving.
I put my hand on Silver's shoulder. I says, I don't think he's not grateful. I says, frightened does a lot to someone. They lose their good senses, if you know what I mean. I don't hold it against him, but I'm not going to. I don't think we should abandon the thought of other people needing our assistance down here.
Okay, and I'll crack my knuckles and go, I got this. I immediately hex the man.
We have this. Hex!
I go, now listen. And with that hex, he has disadvantage on wisdom skills.
Alrighty.
And I look at him and I go, you're going to start being more helpful. We've got a lot of other people around, and the longer that we stand here, the more likely those other people are to be caught by this creature that you said that you saw. So you're going to need to give us this information, and you're going to need to do it quickly, and you're going to need to stop wasting our time, because there is a job that we have with nice gold at the end of it, and past that gold is a bed, and many of us need that bed, and more of us need that gold. So you're going to tell it to us now, or things are going to get nasty. Do you understand? He can insight me all he wants.
Oh, I thought you was going to cast a spell. I was like, okay, hold on.
Nope. I am over here doing everything I absolutely can. He's got disadvantage right now on handle animal survival. So right now, his whatever he wants to think about, his ability to stay out here alone right now has gotten worse. His perception and his insight have also dropped. And I'm out here, and I'm going to
roll me an intimidate.
I can do that. $19.
He's a okay. He's a I can stay. He's a they separated off. Like I said, once that creature started chasing us, we fell down and we saw it, and it ran after the other two.
Great. So you're telling us it can run. Tell us how it attacks.
With its claws. It tore. You're looking at it. You see it. He's pointing. It tore. Vincent and Franz up with claws, and I had to stand there and I had to lay there and take it. And you can see to watch it, and now he's starting to get. Now he's starting to shake and and start to cry.
Stop it. You don't have time for this. You've lived alone out here by yourself under this rubble, banging on things, potentially getting its attention, and now you're going to cry having to think about this? What? You're supposed to be more of a man than this.
He sets up. He's like, well, maybe if you see it, you'll be.
I intend to.
He says they there's only one other access tunnel that they could make it to, and that would head them to the junction from between Ninfala and Gatstaff. He's like, so you go and you'll see what I saw.
I ask him. I says, the creature that took you, Hans and Fran, or whatever their names were. I says, was it up top or was it down here with you, like in this tunnel here?
It chased after them. One chased after them, and then the other one came down here.
So there's one top side.
Yes, and they started hollering about the drone pack, that they were getting chased by the drone pack, and I kept hollering that it's undead.
All right.
So as soon as he says that this thing might be undead, so Skewer looks at him and he says, well, you ain't seen us fight. And then he will turn his attention to seeing if he can track this thing and to find out some more information about it from its tracks. So to inform you on that, Skewer has undead as his favorite enemy because he's grown up with them pretty much at his doorstep. So I have advantage on all of my tracking to find tracks and information about undead.
Give me a survival with advantage.
All right. I rolled 17 on the dice, which is a not natural 20 total.
You know that had this been undead, they would not have chased.
They would not have chased.
Yeah, if he would have. They're all about a free meal, and even the most feral of the undead that you have actually had any kind of knowledge of, they do not work more than they have to. If they could have caught all of them, they would have attacked them as a pack.
Mm-hmm.
But there would have been no way that they would have kept chasing after two people and just left three other bodies behind.
Yeah, if they were going to attack anyone, it would have been the bodies that they left behind, right? Okay. So he looks flatly at the man and he says, well, these aren't undead, sir, and you ain't seen us fight. You don't know what we're capable of. We're capable of much more. I'll bring back its head and then you'll see.
Yeah. Give me an intimidate. Are you trying to intimidate him or just matter of fact?
This is more matter of fact. I don't think Skewer's trying to intimidate him or bully him.
I would definitely jump onto the end of that then and make sure the intimidation happens.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Then intimidate. If Mr. Silver is helping, you get it with his that you have advantage yourself. Or if y'all want to roll separate, y'all can do separate, or you
Well,
can.
no, I'm effectively assisting Mr. Silver.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
jumping on at the end of what Skewer's saying.
That time it's a 16.
Oh yeah, he is, like I said, y'all have. He is well, is like, well, fine, go find it and then bring me its head. And he says, if you'll go, you should find the other pike, the other tunnel is not too far. It's behind that. It's behind what would be the horse barn. And he kind of scoots. He gets himself into a different position and has the bow. So what are y'all doing?
Skewer would go after the creature. He would check in with the group. I guess he would say, well, we know what we're hunting. Well, we know where it went. We know it's not undead. I'm ready to go and skewer it.
I said, you know, the captain wanted a souvenir. Looking at the creature we killed, does it have like an arm, like like a wooden arm with claws on it?
You could take the burlap, the sack if you want.
Screw it! I'll take the sack and just pick as much of it up inside of it as possible and put it in my backpack.
Okay. So
it'll be an interesting little present to give the captain.
So y'all come to this other tunnel, and it's kind of half collapsed in on itself. There's parts where it would have to squeeze. You would have to squeeze to get into, and you can see that people got through, and then you see scraps of cloth, and that same hay is stuck to this rock. And then you can see there's about 6 inches of water on the other side. And you can see that the guards have climbed up onto this ledge, and they're like they've been holding on for a while. And when they can see light, they're like, hey, over here, over here.
Yeah.
So they're
Enoch goes over there.
Well, you have to squeeze yourself through, but it doesn't catch you. And you can see that this area has been flushed. And the guards have like bruises where they had been hit by whatever came out of this pipe. And one of them says, we have to hurry. The tide will be in soon. We have to get out of here quick.
Well, then let's go. What are you waiting for?
Well, and they're climbing down, and they're kind of shaky at first because they've been laying down for a while, and then they start going with you. And you meet back up with it, and they see the other man, and he's like, well, did you see the undead? Did you see it? And they're like, it wasn't undead, it was the drone pack. They got in here Stop hollering it was undead. We saw wolves.
Gentlemen, he puts his hand, he goes, we can save our bickering for later. Let's get you to safety.
So they help y'all go help y'all with him, and y'all come back to the gate, and the warden sees y'all, and he kind of laughs a little bit, and he's like, you owe me 5 silver. And they pulls the lever, and the doors open up, and they says, well, we'll take it from here. The captain came by and has said that you can find your money at the inn, but he had to go out on a part with a hunting party. They are still looking for Silas and his friend, but your money should be there with the widow woman.
So I collected this for nothing. I was like, oh
well. Y'all get back to the inn, and she has your money, and she gives you this sack. He says, here, the captain said give this to you, and he talked with the merchants, and they upped another, so there should be 200 gold in here if I'm correct.
A piece?
No, the captain's not going to give it to you. He's not. If he can do it, he would give you a copper piece a piece. No, I'm afraid you're going to have to split it.
And when she says that, Art goes, the way I feel right now, I'd punch him for it.
I can arrange for you to stay here a night free of charge if you like.
That would be most generous. I says, out of curiosity, is there an alchemist in the town?
We have an apothecary, yeah.
I says, if it can't be too much, could you tell me where to find it?
Says it would be that as you came in, it doesn't have a sign, but there's but old man Ulok runs it.
Sitting on the stool when she's telling him this, like he is nodding off. He's like, mm-hmm.
And she's like, are you okay? Do you need to sleep? And she looks at all of you. She says, how about we have a round on me? If y'all are in no rush to celebrate your triumphant return. There's not too many people comes from the Erd Wall in one piece.
Says, I'd rather have this creature at least let me know if it's a natural or whatever. Whatever it is. I says, give them their drink. I says, give Skewer mine. I said, it looks like he would like it. I says, I'm going to the. I tell the guys that what I'm doing. He tells them I'm going to have this creature analyzed. You know, if it's undead, it's undead. If it's whatever. Maybe we can make the people's mind at ease, letting them know it's not undead and not have them so scared. I mean, other than it's got claws and whatnot. And with that, he walks out the door towards wherever she said to.
So, okay, well, Arcadia is going. What's the rest of y'all doing?
Well, I don't need to sleep. I'll pull out a deck of cards that I've got, and I'll play a game for an hour against one of my my servants.
Enoch, Skewer.
Skewer is he's just busting to go and find this thing and kill it. So his mind is elsewhere. He's, I don't know, sharpening his pike. You know, grabs a whetstone, starts, you know, working away at it. That sort of thing. Yeah, his mind is on killing this thing.
Okay.
Enoch would kind of bounce around the town a little bit, mostly by the gates where the guards tend to be. And he would just kind of begin questioning them about what sort of tactics or just maneuvers or whatever that the local guards have seen the werewolves in this area, maybe what they do, so that he can better familiarize himself, because this is twice in a week where he has found himself you know, in an unadvantageous position with a werewolf where he wasn't necessarily expecting it, so he's trying to better prepare himself mentally with the possibility of it happening again, and when it does, what the best route would be. So that's what he's doing.
Okay. Well, when you ask around, is that you don't normally see them. If you've seen them, then it messed up. And you don't see them until they're ready to strike. If you've actually run across some of them that has not attacked you outright, you consider yourself lucky. There's not too many people that come face to face with a werewolf and live to tell us. If you want more, there's some hunters that are in Lumberholt. They specialize with hunting werewolves. They could help you out more. I'm afraid they just charge at us, and we're being lucky to catch them. So I would count myself lucky with it.
Yeah, he would accept the advice from what they have to add or to say, and I think he would probably walk over to the stocks to see if there's anybody currently in them, and if there are, he would probably sit there and just talk with them, just so that their time might pass a little faster.
Okay, yeah, there's a couple of people that have been put in the suite, and some of them are not in a very talkative mood since they have to spend this time in this certain predicament. But you pass the time away with those that finally, you know, it's better to sit and talk than just sit here and fume about it. And you find that they're visitors. One's from Gatstaff. The other one is actually trying to be a merchant, but he came from Gavany, and he's had to stay over here because of the howl packs have started to stir more. Eric, Arcady, you get to the apothecary, and Ulok, the man that y'all saved, he runs it. he's sitting behind one of the he's sitting at his table, and he's looking at some of the books that he acquired from Mira's house, and has been sitting and studying them and poring over the just whatever text he can get out of it. When he sees you, he says, "Oh, come in, come in. What can I help you with?"
I says, "Will's out in the Ulvenwald." I said, or whatever. he's tired. He sets the burlap sack up there with all the remains of what he could get of the creature, and he says, "We fought one of these creatures. It doesn't look undead." I says, because that's what they was ranting that it was. I says, and I figure have an alchemist or someone that knows what they're doing look it over, and I says, and maybe we could ease the tension of the people a little bit.
He'll look at it, and he'll take some of the straw, and he'll sniff it, and he's like, "This has been animated."
What do you mean animated? This is like undead?
He says, No, this isn't undead. It's alchemy infused reanimated.
Art looks at him like, gives him that dumbfounded like, yeah, I totally don't know what you're talking about.
He's
because he totally does it.
Well, I don't know that much about it myself because I studied old languages. But during my scholarship, my scribe, I was attached to a man who was very knowledgeable on the various uses of arcane lore, and there are alchemical mixtures you make that can bring stuff to life. Is like, I don't know what it's called, but we've actually seen some of these, and they make you see what you fear.
Huh. It's weird. Is there anybody in the town that might know what this creature is?
Jesus, not here. He's like, I could just tell you about a little pieces of it. He's like, I don't know too much more about it.
So it's an actual man-made creature.
Yes, there's very few occasions that it would happen naturally. But it doesn't happen. It's very rare that it happens by accident.
I nod. He nods very tiredly, and he goes, "Thank you."
He says, you look tired, friend."
He looks like he could just kill himself, and just so he wouldn't have to wake up. And he would be permanently asleep. I says, unfortunately, yes. I'm very tired.
He says, I have something for that. And he goes and he gives you this little vial. He's like, here you go. He's like, this is lavender extract. He's like, rub it underneath your nose and it will help you sleep.
Look at the lavender extract now. Look at him, and I mean, he takes it and he goes, okay. I mean, well, what the hell? Or what the heck? If drinking yourself to sleep won't do it. I pat him on the shoulder. I says, I appreciate it. Thank you. I says, keep the remains, I suppose. I says, I don't know if there's any value in it or anything. I says, or if you want to research it or whatnot. I says, but
he says, none. He says, there's nothing to be gleaned from it. He says, once you've killed it, it's useless. He says, if you don't want it, he starts to scoop it up and take it to a fire.
I says, yeah. I told him, I says, again, thanks, old timer. I says, see you. And I head out and I head back to the bar, or the last known location that he can remember where his friends were.
So while he's coming back, Mr. Silver, describe what a waking nightmare would look like.
For me, it would be literally in the middle of playing this card game, and I'm just sitting in the tavern portion of wherever I am in this bar, and there's noise, there's people, and the more I'm playing, the more the quieter it's getting. Then I realize it's real scary quiet. I look around, and nobody's around. And then I look across from me, and that spirit I've been playing cards with looks at me and cocks its head, and then starts to disappear. And it responds like it's not supposed to be disappearing, and then looks up and locks eyes with me in sheer terror. And for a moment, it's completely quiet. And then the door leading outside slowly opens into the night. And then just this blackness rushes in toward me, completely overtaking my view. And then I snap out of it, and the spirit's sitting across from me just looking at me like it's my turn.
When you're having this nightmare, there's like one of your servants kind of reaches out for you and kind of touches each side of your head, and then it just like it gets drug away, like it's trying to scratch your head, but it gets drug away from you. And then it keeps on and it comes back. Skewer, you're sitting there watching Mr. Silver play cards, and you see him start to take on that gaunt look, like Arcadian did.
Okay.
For the first time, you see Mr. Silver looks tired. Even though you've never seen him sleep, he looks tired.
Right. So Skewer would look over to him and would sort of say, "Sir, you got that look."
Wow. That. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I look at you again, just, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then look across back at the table. Oh, it's my turn? And play a card.
So, Arcady, you get back to the tavern, and you see Mr. Silver is sitting playing cards with himself. Well, not himself, but him and his people. And he looks gaunt. And they said that you look different, but now you can tell that Mr. Silver looks different as well. And I think Enoch, you finish your conversation because finally the man, just like he's talked himself out, and he's just like, "I'm tired. I don't want to talk anymore." He's like, I appreciate it. I don't want to. I don't wish to talk anymore.
And it kind of stands up. What time of the day is it?
It's getting about evening time.
I think he'd kind of stand up and he'd look around. And I said, well, suppose your time's coming. Good luck. And he would kind of go find a... we didn't have plans or anything like that for today, so I think he wouldn't necessarily go anywhere specific. He'd probably go find a bench to sit on and just kind of look out at whatever, if this is the center of a town hub or whatever it might be. Kind of find a busy intersection and just sort of people watch.
Well, you could say the people come and go, all as they're carrying on their daily routine. Not much, there's some people who talk to you as they pass by, but they're kind of busy and just it's more hello and moving. At the bar, the Inquisitor and his aides come in, and they're sitting down, and they set a box. The Inquisitor sets his box up there, and he rubs his eyes. He's like, "Well, we're about done. Pay up our room, and let's be on our way." People don't really give them too much. They kind of keep a wide berth. They got a bad habit during the insanity thing. But one of the aides turns and looks at you, looks at all of you, and looks over Arcadian and then looks over Mr. Silver, and she's looking at you like she's trying to find something. Like she's not just casually glancing at you. Looks like she's trying to find something. And she turns to the Inquisitor and she says, I feel that it's been we need to hurry and get this wrapped up. I would like to get back to my studies. And she says, could I have 1 minute? And he, and she comes over to Mr. Silver and she sits down. She says, may I see it?
Sure. And I gesture at the chair that's directly beside me, and I nod to the servant beside me, and it dissipates.
And she turns and she looks at Arcade. She says, "Could you come here and join us, please?"
Arcady, he nods and he walks very tiredly and sits down.
The chair will slip out for you, because the chair that slips out, that's the spirit of that boy. And so instead of letting him dissipate, I have him move the chair out and stand up.
He sits in the chair.
And
he kind of shifts in the chair, like when you're lounging in a chair, trying to get comfy. That's what he's doing.
And she, she looks at y'all for a little bit, and she says, "Are you having trouble sleeping?"
No. I look. But you are, aren't you? Looking over at Arcady.
Jesus. Arcady looks over at her and says, for 3 nights. For every night, I says, after the 4th night, I says, I have the same dream and it gets worse and worse. I says, they tell me I look tired. I says, pretty much I am. I'm exhausted. I says, but the Piper of Kings and Queens, work is never done.
Yeah.
She looks. She, her blue-green eyes intensifies when she's looking over you both, and she says, have you had any dealings with anybody that would wish you harm?
Ark says, I probably.
Oh,
I says,
of course.
I look at her, I says, lady, we're a roaming gang of pretty much mercenaries. They go around, I says, we hide under the guise of doing it for good. I said, but we do it for money. I said, we're bound to get a lot of people that don't like us.
And I think I make more people mad than they realize that they annoy me. But as long as they do what I tell them.
I think.
Did I make you mad already?
She says no, but if my hunches are correct, y'all will be dead very soon if you don't get this curse lifted. She says,
okay.
She says, I don't know too much about it. She says, I've only heard of it once or twice. She says, there's a Cirrus in Lumberholt that would have a more knowledge on this. If she's in the mood, she will see you, and she could help you, and she could help you lift this curse.
If there's anything that I'm certain that the two of us are good at, is talking people into doing things. I think we'll be fine. I literally look over at after saying that, I'm like, we'll be fine. And I hold up my fist Arcadia and I'm like, we got this. Curse? Okay.
Arcadia, like very tiredly, like, yeah, like he misses like the first time and he's like, yeah, we got Arcadia.
I'll pick up your hand. Okay. We're good, buddy.
Art looks at it, says you have to forgive Silver. He's
obnoxious, loud, lazy.
I says I don't argue with him on his points, but I says we greatly appreciate the advice. I says, and if we ever get over in that direction, I says we'll.
She says, no, you don't understand. You have been targeted. If you do not go, you may not last very much longer.
Ark puts the writ of clearing out the Ovenwald, and he says that's true. But when I take a job, it's done. I don't make those that rely on me wait.
He says, didn't you get? I thought. Wait.
I said, there's one creature that escaped. I says, it's still out there. I says, and it needs to be dealt with. I says, apparently somebody's making these constructs and setting them loose on people. or making these abominations. Sorry, not construct. These abominations and setting them loose. I said, unless this seer in not hold
Lumberholt.
He says, I am tired. You don't have to forgive me. I says, if this seer in Lumberholt can give us further information on how these things are, more than what our sage here could tell us, I says, then I have a job to do. I says, and finding this thing would.
She says, you never know. She says, she says, she might be able to. And she leans forward and she says, she kind of gets lower. She says, she might be dabble a little bit in witchcraft. So she might know a little. She may know more than she lets on.
And he's still half tired. He leans. He leans real close to her and he goes, "What's witchcraft?"
She's
Those
you.
fingers in your grip. It's that come hither stare. That whatever that lures you there, that's witchcraft.
Well, he says, well, if she does, I says, then we might as well go ahead to. I said, but not right now. I says, I'm going to attempt to sleep.
And she nods and she gets up and she hands. She says, well, don't wait too much longer. It's in the early stages now. It will get worse.
And with that, he kind of takes her hand and says, your concern touches my heart. And he says, and after he finishes that, he's out like a light.
Okay. So Arcadia falls asleep. The night that comes on. I get. What are y'all doing? Do y'all want to just retire and we'll move on, or what are y'all doing now?
Well, since Arcadian fell on the table that I was playing cards at, I'll gather up my cards, put them away, and put them into the backpack and look at the bartender and ask if they need a hand. They know I don't sleep, and I can keep everything running. And in fact, I'll go ahead and take a minute and I'll cast alarm on this room so that, like, specifically anything that enters or leaves the room, it makes the sound of a doorbell ringing.
Oh, okay. Skewer, Enoch.
No, he's hearing about all of these curses. He's trying to take it all in. How I see him doing this is, he's still polishing away at this pike, and maybe he'll sort of plow his palm down the blade, and he'll sort of polish it a little bit with his blood, just the edge, and he's not going to like really harm himself. He's just going to just make a small slice. And as he sort of runs his palm down the blade, he just starts speaking, and he says, "Curse, monster, bad omen, whatever it be. By the time I'm done with it, I swear it will be gone." And the little droplets of blood are dripping down onto the earth. And he says, "That I swear, whatever it be, it will be gone by the time I'm done with it." And yeah, he's just focused on trying to defeat whatever this thing is. I mean, first, he didn't get to defeat the monster down and under, and then he's heard about this curse, and yeah, he's looking at his friend and his new friend, and he says, "Whatever it takes, I'll stand by your side, and together we'll be rid of this. You can go back to how you were."
How I were. I'm telling you right now, without any questions or qualms about it, I am still going to be the same pushy, obnoxious person I've always been. I just might not be able to do it for as long as I was hoping.
Enoch?
Yeah, once it goes dark, I think Enoch would return to his room to give the semblance of sleep before attempting to sneak out the window and go and finish his painting.
Okay. So eventually sleep finds those that has to sleep. Enoch, you slip out and continue to work on your painting before you do pretty good on it. You're moving right along really good, and you finally you have to yawn as it's getting to be sleep. Sleep is starting to come to you, and you find your beds, and you have a peaceful sleep for this night. Those that do sleep have a peaceful sleep, and you wake up in the morning and you can hear a lot of moving around in the bottom. Mr. Silver can see that Bax has started to start moving around, and has started gathering his his little guards that he has, and they're starting to prepare. He's giving them orders to start getting the carts ready. It's time to go. It's time to move up towards Stencia, towards the border of Stencia. And he walks over to I need give me some brandy.
Oh, gotcha. And I'll pour it, and my servant will carry over.
He says, "Are y'all still looking for employment?"
It depends. Does it take us to what is it? Lumberknot?
Lumberholt.
Lumberholt?
He's like, I can, if that's where you got to go. He's like, I can hire you for there. I can drop you off.
That could be good. What else are you needing?
He's like, well, we're going to be heading on to Stencia. He's like, so if you want to hire on to protect to protect my wagons as far as Lumberholt, he's like, I can bring up another 50 gold for you.
Is that 50 gold apiece?
He's
Or
like,
is that 50 gold total?
he said, he's like, have y'all gotten more famous since the last time we talked?
No, let's just be honest. The last time you made a deal with us, I was a bit distracted. So, I mean, I guess you could say we're more famous. Everybody here knows who we are.
He says, well, he's like, I see 50 gold to split amongst you. He's like, if you would, and you don't have to pay. We'll
You take care of our food and our alcohol on the ride, and the 50, and we'll call it square.
You see he thinks a moment and he's like, done. He spits in his hand and shakes yours.
All right. When everybody else hears about this, I might do pretty well. Good deal.
So everybody rouses up from their sleep and starts heading down to a lot of noise. Bax has started to, he's a very loud, rambunctious man giving his orders, and he looks at Mr. Silver. He's like, well, you get your crew together and we'll be ready to move out in 2.
Don't worry. And I look over at my servant, nod off, tell him, send him the message. Go gather everyone. They're already on their way.
So this unseen, you're in each different room, and you hear, you need the Mr. Silver says that it's time for you to go.
They can't talk or say anything like that, but they can knock on doors and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, then you hear knocking on your door.
Yeah, Enoch would sit up, go and open the door, and seeing that there's nobody there, he would kind of step out. Yeah, he would just sort of step out, see that nobody's there. Being familiar with Silver, I think he would probably come into the main area where he is, looking for him and see what's up.
Now, when you come into the main area, I nod at you in recognition that, hello, yes, that was me.
Yeah, I think he would be, if there are stairs, I think he's leaning up kind of on the bottom stair, leaning up against the wall, seeing if there is some sort of game plan or what it is that he was beckoned for.
Oh, yeah.
I got us a job with, it will end up being 10 gold apiece just to ride along and protect the cargo, as well as free food and alcohol along the ride.
Where are we headed?
As far as whatever wooden helm.
Lumberholt.
I'm saying it wrong on purpose every time.
Yeah, and he's correcting you.
Yeah, Lumberholt.
Very good. And he would kind of turn around and walk up the stairs.
So I'm gonna say that Skewer will sort of maybe walk in the room as because it's the bottom of the inn. He's been polishing his pike outside, and no, that's not a double entendre. And he'll come into the inn, and he'll sort of overhear the last bit of we're taking a job to go somewhere else, and Skewer will look at Mr. Silver as this happens, and he says, "But we ain't finished doing the other thing. We didn't kill it. Don't we have to clear the?"
We can. I'm sure we can do that. Are you in any hurry?
Bax is that we're rolling out in 2 minutes. If you want to catch a ride with us.
Oh.
If you won't die.
Absolutely not. We've got another job we've got to finish that's got 150 on the line.
We won't be long. We just gotta kill something and come back.
And he's very confident.
Apparently.
And the lady that's that runs it, she's the guards got back. The captain said to go ahead and give you the money.
Well, what the captain might not know is there's still something bad down there, and I'm not going to rest until I know that you're safe.
Does the underground tunnel passage connect to Lumberholt?
Yes. If you're well versed in the Erdwall, yeah, you can go anywhere in Innistrad underground. You don't have as much danger, which is why the merchants use it a lot. Bax is the only one that really doesn't use it because he doesn't want to pay to use the Erdwall. It's like paying to get on a freeway, the toll bridge. He just doesn't want to pay to use it. And she's like, well, she says, if you want to go, and she says, I was instructed to give you the money when y'all came back. She says, I'm sorry if I forgot to do it. She says, but if you want to go, she says, take the money and go ahead. If you want to hunt it down. She says, I don't know what you're talking about, but you seem to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, Skewer probably doesn't know necessarily that we can pursue this creature without having to stay here. So he's just focused on finishing the job to what he feels is like the best outcome. And he's willing to listen to reason and everything. But he's he says to the woman when she finishes talking, he says, well, got hired for a job, which was to clear it out. And we know what we found out, that there was creature down there, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not clear till it's clear. So I want to do that for you, and thanks for the money. That's great. We rescued some people. That's great, but I wouldn't feel right just walking off knowing there'd be something dangerous down there still. And he'll turn to Mr. Silver and say, I like that you got another job for us. Great, we've got something to do. I'm a man of action, and I like that. But I wouldn't feel right if this wasn't done. Can we do both? Looking at Mr. Silver.
While they're having their conversation, you know, like I guess I had somewhat a better sleep than I'd had, because the lavender extract. I don't know if that helped or not. Are having a little bit more of a clearer mind. He says the creature. It's not a creature. Troll Slayer. It's not a creature. Skewer. It's not. It's a man-made creature. A man-made abomination. Like this is what does a wizard call them? I heard them back at the Wizards long back when I was training. I says they're constructs, I believe is what they're called, which means they're man-made. Someone of alchemical, very powerful alchemical abilities made them and set them loose. Where I do agree with you that yes, we took a job and we need to see it through. However, the alchemist that I went, or the old man that we had helped, I believe the first night we got here, he told me that there is a woman in Lumberholt that might know about these creatures, and I says, I don't feel right about leaving the people neither, but if they're made, that means there's there's a bigger fish in this pond that's hiding itself and setting these things free and setting them loose out on the innocent people. And me personally, I believe we should go to Lumberholt and at least have words with her and find out if whatever we can find out about it. And besides, in Lumberholt, if she dabbles in witchcraft, which I'm guessing is not is I guess a common folk term for she deals with the supernatural, I suppose. I says it could give us a better understanding of what we're dealing with. As I understand wanting to stab something and put it down. I says, but there could be a more powerful challenge for you if we find out what's creating them.
Or I get it, but it's not about stabbing it as much as that will be fun. It's about making people safe. And I get that she might know something and we can get some information, but are they going to be safe in the meantime? Or do we kill this one, which won't take long, right? Shouldn't. Well, and then go and ask her, or do you think we should go there? How long is it going to take us to get there? And is the town going to be safe in the meantime from this one?
Well, look at it this way right here. The town, you see the wardens. The wardens are not your, I'm guessing are not your average city guard that, some rich fancy people would hire. And if they've held the walls and they've held this city safe from the outside this long, I'm pretty sure they can do it for a little bit longer. And even if we do go out and try to finish it, we would have to spend the time of going back down there, trying to track it, trying to hunt it down, and all this time, you know, and it's not wasting. I say waste because it's what essentially what we'd be doing is we'd be going on a wild goose chase, hunting it down while it does a lot more damage than us finding out what we need to know about it.
Now, Arcadian, you just said something that made me think something. Hunting it down. Didn't you find those tracks, Kira? And those were all people tracks, right?
They were people tracks.
And for all of the time that we spent down there, we saw no other tracks.
Only, so I think that there was one thing which was when Skewer was looking to see if it was undead or whatever, and he looked at the scene and he was able to tell that an undead wouldn't have pursued them, would have gone after the soft target. So I don't know if that means that there was any other tracks, but I think it was just that the scene said that it wasn't going to be undead. So I think that we didn't see anything else. Well, is that right? Like, or yeah. So people tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and Skill would be like, right. So there wasn't monster tracks, so it wasn't close. Okay, I see. I guess we need some more information.
And I mean, maybe you're right, and it's down there. But this lady in looking over at Enoch Lumberholt. If she knows something about it, maybe we can get more information that'll help us hunt it.
Right.
And besides, maybe here they're not going to have a great pay for that anyway. I mean, if they've already given us the money for bringing back people, great. But maybe in Lumberholt, they'll be willing to pay for us to kill it too. And I am happy to work for free. I am happier to work not for free. And being honest, this man and I have already shaken hands on the agreement. So maybe it's best to just go ahead and move forward.
Arg pats Silver on the shoulder and he says, always getting us the job.
Oh, job means trouble, right? Yes, I'm doing all of that.
I says, well, you know what they say. If a job is trouble, that means money is trouble.
Oh. Right? Oh, I love trouble.
I said, speaking of which, I says, this is the first I'm hearing about this job. I said, what job did you say we have?
You won't believe this, but he needs an escort to Lumberholt. Convenient, right? For being two cursed blokes to have this land in our laps, I think we're doing pretty good.
He nods. I says, I don't know if it's because the curse is weakening. I says, but the alchemist, the old man that we had saved on our day that we first got here, he gave me this little vial and says, put it under my nose and I'll sleep better. I says, and it worked.
Well, good.
I tell him, I says, I've never seen you sleep, so I mean, I would offer you some, but I says, I've never seen you sleep.
I haven't slept in, looking over Enoch, 15 years? Since I was, 13? 14? Yeah. Been a while.
I says, well, all right. I says, let's Let's get our second show on the road.
And a little bit, Boris comes in, and he says he's ready for you. We're moving out.
Great.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Hey, do you still have that luminous thing?
What?
Looking back over at the rest of the guys.
Oh yeah, it's still following. It's still following Charles Singer or Skewer because he hasn't said a word like the word to like turn it off or whatever.
He probably forgot the word and laid in bed trying to say it, and it didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
What? Yeah.
I can already see it now. He's grumpy because he's had this light in his face this whole time.
It's by his feet. Come on.
Well, yeah, I mean, just there.
Cool. Well then, yeah, pack it up. I'll let all the rest of my servants dissipate and begin rotating through that same kid.
Yeah, and Skewer now sort of understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it, rather than going after the creature, will accompany these people, and we're getting close to our end time. Time's flying.
Yeah. So you get on the wagons. I'm guessing Mr. Silver is going to be on. Who's walking and who's riding?
I am always riding.
And Skewer's always walking.
So
I love having people do things for me, and you love doing things for people. We are polar opposites.
So, you get everybody. The wagons are loaded, and you're riding out of the town, going along the road and turning onto the fork that puts you on one of the main roads, and you start to travel the long 2-day journey to Lumberholt. And I believe it's a little early tonight, but I think I have the little things I got to do tomorrow, and I think we'll call it for tonight. I want to thank all y'all for playing, and we shall do this again next week. Well, not next week. In
2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll get the words. I will get the words. So until then, I thank all y'all for playing, and we'll see y'all in a little while.
All right.